Hi, everybody. This is Letty Patino once again. This is day 4 of my 22-a-day challenge. If you've been following along, you know that I'm doing my challenge a little bit different from the typical 22 push-ups a day or 22 squats a day or whatever it is that people do these days. I kind of took it upon myself to do 22 interviews with 22 different veterans and just get to know them a little bit better on a deeper level as far as what they, their service was to our country, and just ask them for some advice, not so much for myself, but advice for other veterans that might someday decide, hey, who's this Letty girl and what's this video about? So I would really just, it's to raise awareness on veteran suicide. 20 to 22 is the number these days going around. It's still way too many, and there really shouldn't be any at all. So if we can raise awareness in some way, shape, or form, I would really like to do that. Today we have my friend Sharon with me. Sharon, if you could please introduce yourself, tell us where you are from, and then what branch you served with, and when you served.
Hi. Okay. So my name's Sharon, and I'm living in Kyle, Texas right now, and my combat service was as a combat medic with the 947th Medical Company out of Colorado, and we were attached to the 82nd Airborne during Desert Storm. But then I also served after that. I served for 13 more years, and I was a truck driver, an initial entry training manager, and a recruiter career counselor until my PTSD manifested, and I ended up getting an early medical retirement. So.
Okay. Now, Sharon, do you, what advice would you give to others, seeing as you have dealt firsthand with PTSD? What's the best advice that you would give to other veterans that may currently be going through this themselves, as far as either coping or just reaching out for help in this situation?
The first thing, and as I say it, it's easier said than done. And let me first preface this by what the answer I'm going to give is not the advice that I took initially until it was too late. So if this will help anybody, so the biggest thing is very simple: ask for help. And even if that's from your military friends, whoever you trust to give you non-judgment. As hard as it is, let them know that you're struggling in whatever fashion. Even if it's not going to get therapy initially, just that one person that you can reach out to and say, I'm struggling. And the biggest thing that person can do, if this helps anybody that's, that has a friend, family member, or loved one that's going through this, is to acknowledge that although you might not understand it, don't judge it, because it's a new normal, and the single most beneficial thing that somebody that is struggling can get from a person that cares about them is just compassion and non-judgment. And that right there can sometimes make the difference in you getting through that day alive or not getting through that day alive. The one person that you feel unconditionally supports you. So the one thing I would say is, find those people, and somewhere in the back of your mind, tell yourself it takes more strength to ask for help than it does to keep fighting alone. And if this helps too, I've gone 2 years without meds and therapy, and I've gone through so many transitions in the last 2 years, all positive, but they're still big things. And I had to suck up my pride 2 weeks ago and go to the vet center and say, I feel I'm falling in a hole, and I fought it. And so as I'm saying this, I'm not just saying it, I'm living it. And it's hard to suck up your pride, but just know that it takes a lot more strength to face your weakness in the mirror than it does to keep fighting it. And acknowledge that. But the one part, reach out to at least the one person that you can, that is going to be there for you no matter what.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Do you feel, is there a particular way that you feel that, or how do you feel that being a woman in a combat, as a combat veteran, how do you think or how has that affected you personally? I guess maybe I'm wording my question wrong here. I asked you
That's
this.
a really big question.
I asked you before we started the meeting. Now I can't think of how to ask it again. But how has your experience as a woman, kind of affected you in this regard as a combat veteran? Because there are other women out there that are going, either have gone through this or are going through this.
Okay, so that's a really big question, and that could go a lot of different ways, but I think what you're trying to get to, let me answer it this way, first of all, for the medium that we're using, and then I think with the time constraint, what I would say to other women, as women veterans, is you're not alone in how you feel, and there are different layers, and that's not to pull the woman card. I think so many times when you say what's different for woman veteran, some people immediately put that wall up and say, oh, it's, you're trying to be different because you're a woman, and that's not it. What we as women go through, even though it's becoming more accepted by the general public that women are wearing a uniform and women are doing a job, we're coming back in more ways than men, expected to jump back into the role as wife, mother, friend, girly girl, whatever, without people understanding or acknowledging, hey, they were wearing uniforms. So I think there's still that mental shift that has to happen. So, and I'm not judging like the general public for that, but we as female soldiers, especially those of us that have gone to combat too, that's an added layer. So it's not just you're adjusting to coming back from a hostile combat zone, but you're coming back, and even more so than men, expected to just jump right back into those high heels and be who you were, and that doesn't happen. So the thing that I would say is find a good support group of women, of whoever your peers are, and support each other, because you're going to need each other more. Find people that understand that that you too served your country, that you are just as proud of wearing your boots as the men were, and that acknowledge not only the woman in you, but acknowledge the soldier in you. So whoever you can find to help acknowledge that soldier in you, because losing that piece, it's not only about adjustment, it's about maintaining that piece and say, when you're not trying to put on two identities, but find a circle that allows you to hold on to both of those, and understanding that, yes, I am this person, but I'm also this person, and understanding those happen side by side, so that you can put on a pair of high heels and still whoop somebody's ass. So if that
kind of makes you a little bit of a badass, though. Really, I mean,
but the other thing too is, and I will say this especially to women, that there are resources, and I have found that oftentimes the vet centers are even more understanding, especially for women. This is my experience, than even the VAs are, and you don't have to not fight the bureaucracy of the VA as, I'm sorry, let me rephrase that. You're not only, with the VA, you're having to fight the bureaucracy and everything that all veterans have to fight, but you're also faced with that whole additional, we've had to fight that environment while we're in the military. So maybe something that might help other women is that there are groups, and I'm still learning some that are out there. I've been amazed at how many have come up lately. But the vet centers may be even a better resource, because you can kind of be your own person. You can go in and feel a little bit more cocooned and a little bit more, you maintain your, I am a soldier, and be treated like that when you walk in the door, even more so than at the VA. And that seems to be helpful as well, that, and you're not having to sit in that environment where some of the things that may have actually caused you trauma, you're in that environment while you're waiting at the VA as well, and the women will know what I'm talking about. So, okay. if that helps.
That does help a lot. Sharon, I thank you so much for taking the time to do this. I am very, very grateful for all the knowledge that you've chosen to share. It's definitely a different perspective, and I hope that. I hope, I keep recording these, I keep doing these, and I just, I hope that someday someone gets something out of this. That's my biggest thing. I hope it helps at least one person someday. But thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Really do. And
thank you.
Keep kicking butt. I'm thankful that I got to meet you through Althea and David, and through the workout classes. I don't know if you're still, I hope you're still going. I don't know if you still are, but you're doing awesome. You're doing awesome.
Well, thank you for doing this, and I hope too that can I say one last word? If anybody sees it, needs it, you can survive. That's the main thing. That there's a lot of us out there that have been suicidal, that have been homeless, that have come up. So the biggest thing, and I think hopefully this somebody may hear this that needs it. It can get better.
Yeah, there is hope. There is hope
Yes.
for something better. Awesome. Thank you so much, Sharon. You have a good night, and I thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Letty.
All right.